Hi guys, so today we're going to talk about corrections. A lot of people get this one confused or they mess this one up a lot. So I'm going to break it down in my best abilities. But me personally, as long as you make sure that everything is aligning whenever you are switching time frames, because this would require you to switch time frames to understand how a correction is going to be over. There's no way you can tell when a correction is going to start, but you can definitely tell when it's going to be over. So that's what I'm going to explain today. And currently I'm already in a trade, as you're going to see. I'm currently in a trade and floating $2.2 million. And this is gold buys. And I was talking about this on the Telegram 2 days ago. So make sure you guys are in the Telegram to make sure that you guys are just getting my updates whenever I am posting in there, and just keeping up to date with what life has got. But yeah, with that being said, make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Love you guys.
All right, so today is going to be about corrections. When it comes to corrections, this is pretty self-explanatory. If the indication, so if we have indications, which is a higher high and then a lower low, the corrections is going to be lower highs and higher lows. So when it comes to both of these, I want everybody to understand that all you're doing is basically waiting for price to make this lower high and higher low. So in this scenario that I'm going to show higher lows. All you're doing is jumping from the 4-hour time frame. So you're identifying the trend on the 4-hour. This is to identify. So ID, let's just say identify. And then the 1-hour is to basically keep up with structure. So this is like taking tabs and just making sure you are knowing what trend we're on, seeing the flow. This is probably let's just call this our flow, right? So first is to identify, then it's our flow state. And then 15-minute time frame is to find the details. So this is going to be the small details that end up making up everything else. So in this scenario that I'm going to show, you're going to see me come from the 4-hour time frame to the 1-hour time frame to the 15-minute time frame. And as we can see, let's go ahead and delete all this. So I'm currently in this trade, as you can see, at 4,534. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark exactly where I'm at. So we're gonna come here, tag this. We're gonna go 4,534. So I'm right around here. Put this right around here so I can show you guys. So when it comes to basically understanding what market structure is or what the direction is, it goes back to trends. So if we know we are in an uptrend, we know that all we're looking for is a high, a higher high or a higher low. Those are the only things that we're worried for. Higher highs, higher lows. So in this scenario, we can see that price makes a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So our main objective for corrections is basically spotting out the indication. So our first and foremost, spotting out indications. And remember, indications can only be higher highs or it can be a lower low. So in this scenario, we're marking our higher highs. So what I did was, and I'm gonna pull this up too, so I kind of have a reference to go off of. If you are not in here, make sure you click the link down below to join this thing. It's for free. So it's a Telegram where I basically tell everybody what I'm thinking, what my thoughts are, what the market is looking like, and just overall an update. So as you can see here on the 4-hour time frame, I'm telling people that price on the 4-hour has already made a high, and now this is the correction. Now, I don't necessarily need to be on the 1-hour to see it, but I can see that price went up high and now it is selling off. But for reference, this is what the 1-hour looked like. 4-hour made a high, but the 1-hour started downtrending, and this is where the correction starts. So all that happened right here. So let's break all this down. Matter of fact, I'm gonna delete this, break this down right here. And then remember my entry came from right around this level. So 4-hour makes a high, 1-hour starts correcting. We go to the 1-hour time frame and we see that price is making a low, lower high, lower low. And the thing is here is people normally think that this means just, oh, the trend is going back down or is starting to downtrend. But remember, the 4-hour made a new high. So let's not disregard what a higher time frame has already done. Most people disregard what the higher time frame done just because what this time frame is doing. But in this scenario, higher high was made. As you can see, this is the high, higher low, higher high. So back to 1 hour. Once we go back to the 1 hour, we can see that price is staying stagnant here on the support level. So staying stagnant on the support level. So what we would do from here is jump down to a 15-minute time frame and monitor price. So most people kind of look for that ICC because all you're doing is re-looking for ICC on a smaller time frame for the correction to be over. So once again, I'm gonna say it like this: a smaller time frame to see when the correction is over, right? So this is the only time you would need to be on the smaller time frame is for the corrections, right? I'm still pressing my thing over here. So most people kind of are on the smaller time frame just for the entry, which you can do that, but most people need to understand that everything needs to align with each other. So what I'm going to explain is basically everything aligning for the greater long-term play. So from the 1 hour time frame, jumping to the 15, understanding that the 1 hour, this right here, what we're seeing is the 1 hour. So this is a candle right here. And then this was a candle here going back up. And then this was a candle to make that lower high. So once again, back to the 1 hour, you can see that this was that candle back up, candle back down. So not to get confused on the 15-minute time frame, because you already should understand what's going on. So 15-minute gets to a level of support, picks up this level of support, stays stagnant here, ends up making a high. So in between these two levels on the 15, price is deciding if it's going to go up or down. But right now it will be in a no trade zone. Right. So this will be in a no trade zone. Anything above or anything below these levels would determine what type of trend the 1 hour is going to be on. Since the 1 hour is already on a downtrend, we can see that price is neglecting or not even trying to go back down anymore. We would want more lower lows in this scenario, but price ended up making a low, making a lower high, and failing to go lower. So that's already a plus for us. But what we need is price breaking and making new highs. So as you can see here, price is pushing up bit by bit. So you can see here, price has a high, higher low, builds up a little bit, and then sells back down, but still maintaining this level. So price is no longer going down, but it's also not going up too, until we have a push down, ended up wicking out, this wicked out, and then price pushed back above this level. So in my head, as you can see already over here, I've entered based off of price making that push up. So my entry came from right around here. My entry came from right around above here. And the reason why I entered here is due to the fact that over here, we can already see that price was building that bullish structure above here. So you can see that price has a high above here. And I enter early just due to the fact that, 15-minute time frame is already respecting that we are on an uptrend on the higher time frame. And I can see that, this is a good place to buy. So if we go back to the 1 hour, we can see that this is a good place to buy because price is now pushing off of a higher low. So 4 hour higher low. So we have our high, price made a higher low, 15-minute is going bullish. The 1 hour is going back bullish. And the 4 hour is eventually going to follow. So as you can see here, this level here has our indication, our correction, and now we're back above that level, which is where I bought at. So as you can see, that 134 level, so right here where my line is at, is where I entered. And it is because price was entering a level where, or price was going back above a level where the indication showed us that price was going to be bullish from here to here. So from here to here, and that is where I would place this trade from here, looking for price to come to here. But since we're trading on the higher time frame, we can look for price to go more due to the fact that higher time frames are always going to have the strongest trends. And those trends are normally going to last a couple of days. It could be a couple of weeks, couple of days, but these trends tend to last pretty long. So with this being said, all I did was 15-minute time frame, mark or look for a change of direction, So if the 1 hour is correcting and it's bearish, all I'm looking for is the 15 to go back bullish, and it's going to align with the 1 hour once it comes back above that higher time frame level. So once again, all I did was mark out my highs, see the correction. So correction on the 1 hour time frame. And then once it corrected, I would jump to the 15-minute time frame. And you're not going to know when it's going to be over. You just have to monitor what is going on. So keeping that level, so keeping this 1 hour level right here. So keeping your highs marked and just monitoring price, it would have been kind of a little bit, I guess you like say like kindergarten level to even spot out the fact that price is going back up on that uptrend in the first place. So 15-minute time frame breaking above here, coming back above here too as well. Those are two indications that price is becoming bullish before price ended up taking full push and full volume on, let's see, this. Matter of fact, this was actually coming into London session. So this was a good Asian session when price made that push. And normally I trade during the New York session, and there is a time here as well where you can trade New York session too as well. So price ended up making an indication, correcting, and as you can see here, price was doing its thing, staying stagnant, and then you can see the pickup here, 15-minute time frame once again, and price breaks above here, makes an indication, corrects, holds this level for a bit, and then starts to come back above here for New York session at 9:30, which was also another time that you could have placed a trade for a buy, and then level right here. So there's multiple ways to understand what a correction is going to be over. It's just understanding that you have to make sure that the 4 hour time frame, 1 hour time frame is all aligning with what you're thinking. So you can't be like the 4 hours being bearish and you're looking for price to go bullish on the 15-minute time frame. That it's like the opposite. So you have to make sure everything is aligning and everything is pretty much on the same accord. So 4 hour bullish, 1 hour bullish, 15-minute time frame bullish. And then you're looking for a target. So what I would do is go to a 4 hour time frame and look for the next level of sellers. So I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna look for the next level of sellers. So in this scenario here was the first level. Price ended up coming to that level and breaking out. So then it would have been this level next. And then after here, it will be more and more and more. So it'll probably be this level, probably this level, and you just keep going with the highs, because if you're buying, you want price to go into a level of sellers. So highs equals sellers, and then lows equals buyers. And we talked about this previously, but just to refresh your memory. But yeah, that is everything for a correction. There's nothing too much to it. It's just understanding, keeping everything cordial and aligned with each other is going to be the best way to spot out those and be able to take advantage. But remember, corrections are only higher lows and then lower highs, right? So lower high, higher low. Those are the only way that a correction can be made. So if price makes a higher high, just know the correction is making a higher low. It shouldn't break structure at all. So if you see on this 1 hour time frame, price never broke structure once. It maintained this whole trend. And this is why trading on the higher time frame is like literally a cheat code. But yeah, that is it. And as you can see, I'm currently still in this trade and it's going pretty well. I think I'm just going to continue to hold to that level that I was talking about before. So right up here, I'm gonna hold to this level and then we're going to see what happens after that.